some places were considered as holy, like Vatican for the Catholics or Mecca for the Muslims. So for Hindus there are many hundreds of places, and they are called Tirtha because it comes from the root tri, which means to cross over or to transcend. That by going there one becomes free from the bondage to the material world. Just as the holy places make one free from material existence, in the same way Lord's pastimes or his stories, they are also tirtha, that if one hears then one becomes purified. So for that reason he is called Tirtha Kirti. And he is saying that Udhritya Puspebhya Iva Artabandha. Just like a honey bee takes honey from the flowers and then it gives, because honeybees they only collect and then others they take that honey. So in the same way there are so many pastimes of the Lord, and he says that you take the sweetest ones from that and give to me. I will drink that. So there is also bumblebee which drinks but does not give to others. Bumblebees don't make beehive. They drink themselves and they are intoxicated. And then there are other bees. They collect, and after collecting, then they throw it out. So honey is basically the vomit of the bees. They vomit it. So this is paropkar. This is welfare. And after working hard, they give it to others. So this is the difference between honey and bumblebee. The bees and bumblebees, this is the difference. So he says that just like the madhumakshika or the bees you give me, and in case of bees they are just giving it out, and when they are doing it they are not enjoying. But like a cow, she eats, and after eating she ruminates on it. She brings out the food into the mouth and then chews and relishes it. So in the same way, the pastimes you can hear or you can collect and then you can speak. That is like ruminating. So even the person who is speaking, he also relishes. Not that he is only giving it to others and others are benefiting and he has no benefit. So he does not have any problem in doing that. Otherwise, if somebody is throwing out, then it's not a very good experience. If you have ever puked in your life, then you know that it's problematic. But this hearing and then speaking is very pleasurable. So for that reason he says Udhritya Puspebhyaiva Arthamandha. So just like they collect from the bees collect honey and then give it for the benefit of others. In the same way, Asmakam Shivaya Kirtaya. For our benefit, you recite these glories. And do not think that I do not have the qualification to hear. Because if you want to give food to somebody, you also have to see whether the other person is going to digest it or not. So honey is the only food which is pre-digested, right? According to Ayurveda, honey is considered as pre-digested food. It doesn't need to be digested. You take it, immediately gets assimilated in the body. This is the quickest way to get energy. That's why in Ayurveda, many medicine they say that you mix it in with honey and you take it. Just like in modern medicine, they give injection. You have tablets or syrups and also injection. So injecting means it goes into the blood directly. So similarly, when you put honey into the mouth, it's already going inside through the pores and it gets in. That's why it has a quick effect if you take Ayurvedic medicine with honey. So that means the pastimes are such, they are like honey, that even if your digestion is not strong, at least you can take honey, which is already digested. So the pastimes of Krishna, everybody has the qualification, if you are willing to hear it. And if your digestion is weak, then it will become strong by hearing. As if you are very weak, then you take honey, you will gain strength, and then you can also digest other things. So therefore, he requests only for hearing the Krishna Katha. And tad asya means of this, of him. From this it looks like as if he was seeing Krishna in front of his eyes. Because Bhagavatam is a very marvelous book. And this is the only book which says that when you desire to hear this book, then Krishna comes and sits in your heart. Sadhyo hridaya viruddhyate atra kritivi sushrusubhis tatakshanat. Not that when you are hearing, but even when you desire to hear it, then he comes in the heart. Of course, there is one qualification, Sadhyo hridaya viruddhyate atra kritivi. Those who are pious people. And in their heart, Krishna comes and resides immediately, because even he wants to hear it. People like to hear their own glory, isn't it? We all want to hear about our greatness. If somebody is talking about you somewhere nicely, then you feel very happy. So this characteristic is coming from Krishna. He also likes to hear about himself, but to hear one's own glory directly is not considered as a good etiquette, so he hides inside the heart. And then he hears. So Vidura, because he is a very nice devotee, so Krishna says, okay, you hear, I will also hear. So therefore he says, tad asya means of his, as if he is already there for him. And speak, seven dhatu bhava. So no comment on this verse except one line he writes. Krishna Chakrati says, tat tasmat he koshara. Just giving that this verse, the word tat is used in the sense of reasoning, that because of all these characteristics of Krishna Katha which I have spoken above, therefore please recite only that to me. Then in the next verse he says, Saviswajanma sthiti sanyamarthe kritavatara pragrihita shaktihi chakara karmani yati purushani yani ishvara kirtaya tani mahyam. He says that please recite to me the activities which Lord performed for the purpose of creation and maintenance and halation, for which the Lord takes avatar, krita avatara, pragrihita shakti, with his own power. And then while doing this, he takes or he performs various activities which are superhuman. Karmani ati purushani. Yani Ishvara kirtayatani maya. So he wants to hear some specific activities of Krishna which are ati purushani, which ordinary person cannot perform. So he says that please describe to me. That is my prime interest. So Lord comes here, and this is also the speciality of Vedic culture, that God himself appears to teach to the humanity. And he teaches by his own example. He comes and acts so that others can see. So he is the original teacher. Acharya mam vijaniyat now manid karhichit. So he says that he is the Acharya, and he comes and gives instructions to us. So he gives instructions by his actions and also by speaking. So Krishna did so many activities, and they all have some instruction hidden behind the action. And besides that, he also spoke as the 11th canto. There is talk between Krishna and Uddhava and Bhagavad Gita. So this is the purpose of his coming, descending onto earth. And he is specifically requesting the activities which are ati purushani, that prakarshena, which other people cannot perform. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that ato nirakangshatva artham ukta lakshananam mat prashnanam utram sankshepena uktva madhurena samapyediti nyayena Shri Krishna avatar kathaiva vistarartham kirtaniya ityaha saiti. So according to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that why he is asking this question, the last question, and although he is not taking Krishna's name here directly, but that is his intention. He has asked many questions before, but he ends his question about Krishna Katha. That recite that to me. So there is a saying in Sanskrit that madhurena samapayet, that when you eat food, when you have your lunch or dinner, then you should end with sweet. You start with the bitter things, salty and whatever, then the end is with the sweet. So he says that he has asked other questions, as his first question was that why human beings suffer and do not get happiness. So he says that you give me answer to these questions in short, and then expand on Krishna Katha. So that's why he is ending his question here. Krita purvam purushadaya avatara yena samayyam mam prasadayita. And Krita avatara means that Krishna has taken various avatars before. He takes Yuga avatars, Purusha avatars, Shaktavesh avatars, so Manvantara avatars, and other Lila avatars, various types of manifestations of Krishna. But he is interested now hearing directly about him. So he says these other avatars, they come and perform the activities of creation, maintenance, destruction, etc. But I want to hear directly about Krishna, his sweet pastimes which he performed. So this is the end of his question. He started asking on second verse and ending on 16th. So basically he spoke 15 verses. It's not that you ask one question and then the answer is given. Give a whole list of questions and then answer will follow in next two chapters. Because he's going to go on speaking now. Maitreya for a long time. Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Shukdev Goswami said, Sevam Bhagavan Prishtah Kshatra Kausharavir Muni Punsham Nishreyasarthena Tamaha Bahumanayan. He says in this way, when Vidura asked questions to the great sage Maitreya, and these questions were Punsham Nishreyasarthi. They are very beneficial for the whole humanity. He started answering them after giving great respect to Vidura. Because it is very difficult and rare to get a good student. A good teacher always waits for a good student. So not always it is possible that a good teacher gets a good student. So Maitreya is very happy that he finally got a nice student, although old. Vidura was very old because Krishna himself lived for 125 years and Krishna has already left the planet. So Vidura is at least 125 minimum, but he is at least 150 because he was equal to like his father's age, Krishna's father's age. So old student, but very young at heart, and he is willing to hear. So Maitreya is very happy to get such a person, because the question which is being asked is beneficial for the whole humanity, not just for him. There are people who are selfish, they ask questions for themselves. He is asking questions for others. And that's why Maitreya is very, very pleased. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Kshatra Kidrishrena. So, says the questions were asked by Vidura, and what is the qualification of Vidura? Says, Punsham Kalau Janishyamana Nam Nishreyasam Nistaram Iva Arthoyasya. Who is thinking about the welfare of people who will be born in Kali Yuga. So that means he was thinking about us. That for their welfare, he is asking questions. So this is called a saint or a holy person. That they are thinking of others' welfare. This is called a Sat Purusha. Just as Krishna comes for the welfare of humanity, he has nothing to gain from here. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Na avaptam avaptavyam. That there is nothing attainable which I have to attain. Avaptavyam means things which people like to attain, whether it is wealth or house or any other things, or some powers. He has everything. Navaptam avaptavyam vartevacha karmani. Yet he says that I am always working. So this is very amazing, that person who has everything, why should he work? All the time people work 5 days a week, then 2 days they will take leave. and then they won't leave for summer vacation, then they're traveling here and there. Everybody wants to travel, taking leave. They work so that they can travel. Otherwise they will not work. So why is Krishna working? It says Varta evacha karmani, and says that if I do not work, then everything will collapse. Utsi deyur imer loka. It says all these people, because they will follow his example, they will be destroyed. So he is working for the others' welfare. And he relishes that. That is his pleasure. People take pleasure when they work for themselves and make some money, and they are happy. Krishna works for others. So those who are Satpurusha, the saintly people, holy people, they also have this quality of Krishna, that they feel happy to do welfare to others. As earlier he said that people like Maitreya, they wander on the face of earth only to do good to others. So that was his intention, that people in Kali Yuga who will not have knowledge, so that they hear this. Tena tasya Sri Krishna parsadattvena kirtarthattvadeviti bhava. So the meaning is that he himself was a perfect being. Because you can do welfare to others when you yourself have something. If you don't have anything yourself, if you are starving yourself, then what are you going to give to others? So to do welfare to others, one also has to become qualified. So he says that Vidura, because he is a Parshada, he is an associate of Krishna, does not need to attain any perfection. He is already perfect. And therefore his asking is for others. To ask questions from a great person is also an art. The cow is there, it does not give milk by itself. You need a calf. So when the calf goes and starts pulling on the udder, then the milk comes. So in the same way, the great persons like Maitreya, they don't just speak. Like these days, people go on the television, they are speaking, internet speaking. Now people are very welfare minded, right? Whoever has anything to say, he wants to say it. If nothing else, go on YouTube, say something. So you can find all kinds of things on the YouTube. Everybody wants to do welfare. But people like Maitreya, they don't speak like that. They are like cows, that you need a calf to milk them. And the calf also has to know where to approach. So that is the importance of a good student, that only a good student gets knowledge from a good teacher. Otherwise, in the Vedic culture, the teachers don't speak by themselves. They keep quiet, you go to them, they will not immediately start lecturing. They don't have this disease of talking. They will sit quietly. So, if you ask, then they speak. So now because Vidura is asking and Maitreya has understood that Vidura is a qualified person, so he is giving him respect. Bahumanim, great respect. So we also read that earlier, that when Shaunaka Rishi asked question to Sut Goswami, so Sut Goswami was very, very happy, and Pratipujya Vachaste Sam Prabhaktum Upapakrame, that he worshipped his words, means he honored the questions, and then he began answering. He said that, wow, what a question you have asked. It is so wonderful. So Maitreya Vacha, Maitreya said, साधु पृष्ठम त्वया साधो लोकान साधु अनुगृणता कीर्तिम वितन्वता लोके आत्मनो धोक्षजात्मनः. So now this is how he is verbally giving respect to him. He says sadhu prishtam tvaya sadhu. He says you are a sadhu, a saintly person, and you have asked very nicely. I am very satisfied with your questions. And lokan sadhu anugranata. You are giving your blessings to people. You are very compassionate on people. Therefore you are asking these questions. Kirtim vitanvata loke atmano adhokshajatmana. And by asking these questions, you are spreading your fame in the world. So when we say that why he wants to spread his fame, so he says because this fame is also of Krishna's fame. Because he is adhokshaja atma. His very self is pervaded by Krishna, or Krishna is within his heart. So Vidura's kirti or Vidura's fame is not independent of Krishna. Because whatever he is asking or whatever he is doing, it is in relationship to Krishna. If Vidura is famous, then people also know that he is a devotee of Krishna, and Krishna is famous. So in that sense he says that kirtim vitanvata loke atmano dhokshajatmana. Says that your questions will spread your fame in the world, and if you feel that why I have to do anything to increase my fame, he says this is adhokshajatmana. This is the glory for the Lord himself. Adhokshaja eva atma mano yasya tasya atmanah swasya. So Krishna himself is situated in his heart, and therefore he is speaking like this. Neta chitram tvai kshatar badrayana viryaje grihito ananya bhavena yatvaya haririshwaraha. He says that indeed it is not very surprising that you are asking this question. Why is that? Why it is not surprising? He says because you are born from the sage Badra and Vyasadeva. Vidura is son of Vyasa. He was conceived by Vyasa. And this shows the importance of parents. So just like in the horse racing, they are very careful about the pedigree. But in human beings, anybody can have anything. Nobody bothers about that. For the dogs, they are very careful about the pedigree, and they protect, and the horses. But for human beings, they say that it is free for all. So in India, the government is giving money if people perform intercaste marriage now. Means you have to mix. They are promoting it. Because previously there was a restriction that people will marry according to their varnas in their own respective castes, so that their pedigree is maintained. Now because this has been criticized very much, especially by the Western scholars, so not understanding the importance, people have become so scared that they want to overdo it. So if a Brahman marries a Shudra, then it is in the newspaper, and government is giving aid to him, that you have done very wonderful work. So here he says that you are great because you have a great father. So a person, a human being, besides soul, we have body and mind. And our body and mind, this is a combination of mother and father, because it is made from them. and their characteristics, their samskaras, they come in the body. So just like there is field and then there is a seed. So according to the seed, the plant will grow. If you put a mango seed, then the mango tree will come. If you put a lemon seed, then the lemon will grow. It is the same field. So importance is also of the seed. So here specifically he is referring to the father. So the field is also important. If the field is barren, then the seed cannot do anything. But if the seed is useless, then field cannot do anything. So for that reason he is referring that your greatness is coming because of your father, Badarayana Viryaji. And Grihito Ananya Bhavena Yatvaya Haririshwara. Because you have accepted Lord Hari, the Supreme Person, Krishna, without any deviation, with unflinching faith. Ananya Bhav means you are one-pointed in your devotion, in your surrender to Krishna. And that is the greatness of a human being. When we say that somebody is great or somebody is so small, that is not by the physical body. That is because of devotion to God. There are different standards to measure who is great and who is not great. So some measure because somebody has more money, or somebody has more physical strength or more knowledge. But in Bhagavatam, the standard of greatness is according to devotion to Krishna. If you read Bhagavatam, then there are various grades of devotees. There is Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, there are Pandavas, many other kings, and Yadavas, then the Vrajvasis, then Gopis. So Gopis are considered as the topmost devotees because they are totally devoted to Krishna. That's why Rupa Goswami wrote Laghu Bhagavatamritam based on Srimad Bhagavatam to show the gradation of devotees so that we can understand why Gopis are great. So the greatness here is not because somebody is big in size or small or wealthy or poor, but somebody who is more devoted than the other. And this is possible for everybody. This is the important thing. That we are all human beings, we all have different capabilities. And every one of us cannot become a scientist like Einstein. Or we cannot become great musicians like Mozart. But we can all become great devotees. There is no restriction for that. That possibility exists for all of us. Because this is not dependent on anything material. So here it says, Grihito Ananya Bhavena Yatvaya Haririshwara. That you have accepted Lord Hari as the Supreme Person with total devotion. Tvaye etam nāshriyam yato Badarāyanasya virya jate yatasya grihita. So this is not very surprising for you because you are born from the great personality Vedvyas. So that shows the importance of Vidura from his lineage, that he is coming in a great lineage of Vedvyas, Parashar and Vasishtha. मांडव्य शापाद भगवान प्रजा संयमनो यमः भ्रातु क्षेत्रे भुजिष्यायाम जात सत्वती सुतात. And of course Vidura is not that he is just born from Vyasadeva, otherwise also he is great because he is Yamaraj. He is the Lord of Death. Then how he became Vidura? Because he was cursed by a sage whose name was Mandavya. This is a story in Bhagavatam, because here it does not give the story, only referring to it. And this Mandavya had his own ashram in the forest. He was living there. Once what happened that some thieves, they went to the king's palace and stole, because common people were poor. Kings had the money. So if somebody has to steal there. So when they stole, then the police people, they came to know about it and they chased the thief. When they were taking the wealth, money, whatever they had, and they came out, then the police or the guards, they saw. So they started chasing the thieves, and the thieves were running. So they gave them a hard chase, and finally the thieves, they realized that they are about to be caught. So they ran towards the forest. So they saw that Mandava Rishi was sitting in his ashram and he was meditating. He was doing his yoga. So the thieves thought that better hide here, because these guards or police people will not disturb here. So what they did, that they threw the booty, whatever they stole there, next to the sage, and they hid inside the ashram. So when the policemen came, they saw that this guy is sitting there meditating and all the articles are lying there. So police people, they are always dealing with crooked criminals, and therefore their thinking also becomes crooked. So they thought that this sage is actually a thief, and now because he was about to be caught, so now he is making a show that he is a yogi, and he's sitting down here closing his eyes and meditating, but actually he is a thief. So they caught him. They caught him by his shika, and he says, "Get up. What is this nonsense you are doing? You are stealing and now doing your pranayam here." So he says, "Stop your bastrika." So Mandavya, he got up and he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "You are a thief." And he says, "I am not a thief. I am living in my ashram." And he says, "No, we found these articles in your veranda." So he says, "I don't know about it." He says, "No, don't act smart and come with us." So he tried to tell them, poor fellow, but they will not listen. Because this is how police people are. Because many times they also deal with criminals, and criminals play tricks like this. So they caught Mandavya and they brought him to the king. So of course king was very angry, and he says that hang this guy on this thing, what do you call it? Soul, this like, what is it called in English? Not trident, it's only one dent. And the pike. Yeah. So he says that you put it on the pike so that he will have a slow death. Then it will pierce through him and then he will die by bleeding. So they put him on the pike, and he sat on the pike and he started meditating. So the pike entered into him from below and came up to his head and was coming out of the head. And then these people, they saw him next day that he is still alive and he is meditating. So then they realized that actually he is not a thief. Because if he was a thief, he would have been dead by now. So they immediately ran to the king and he said that we have made a mistake. Actually, he is not a thief. He is right because he was saying he is a yogi. And we did not believe him. So then the king came, but now this pike has entered into his body, and what is to be done? So they tried to remove it, but it broke. So Ani Mandavya, then he became, his name was Mandavya, then he became known as Ani Mandavya, because Ani in Sanskrit means pike, means Mandavya with the pike in him. Pike Mandavya. So Mandavya, now the king was very scared that now he is going to curse me, because this is what sages do when they get angry, when they curse. But fortunately he did not curse the king, and he went to Yamaraj. Yamaraj is the person who gives the outcome of our karma, good or bad. So he went there and he said that as far as I remember in my life, I have never done any sinful activity. I have never troubled anybody. I have never taken money from anyone. And I have lived a very pious, religious life according to the principle of the scriptures. Why did I have to go through this experience? You answer me. So Yamaraj, he opened up his computer and went into the file of Mandavya and searched for the sins. So after searching, he could not find, then one thing came up. Because he was trying various types of sins. Finally, one thing came out on the screen. And like when you search on the Google, then you say 5,379 entries found. So for him there was only one entry. And the entry was that when he was a small boy, then he had taken some straw and poked into one of these creepers, while playing. So because he poked him with this straw, now he has to get the pike into his body. So then Yamaraj told him that this is the action you performed, and therefore you have to suffer for this. So Mandavya Rishi became more angry. He says, this is real stupid. He says, I was so small at that time, I did not know what is sin, what is piety, what is good, what is bad. So why are you making me responsible for that? The animals don't get any sin or piety. Why? Because they have no knowledge about it. The sin and piety is only for human beings, and that also for the human beings who are knowledgeable. We know that even in the normal society, if somebody is insane and performs some criminal act, then he is not punished for that. And many people try to do that. They make crime and then they try to feign insanity in the court. And if they are successful, then they are buried. They are released. So he says even in the common society, this is a law. So I was not responsible for this. Why did he punish me? So Yamaraj had no answer for this. So he says, because you made this mistake, now I curse you that you go on earth and become a human being and live there. So that's why Yamaraj has to become Vidura. That is Vidura. So Maitreya, he knows this. And thus he is saying, Mandavya Shapat Bhagwan Praja Sanyam no Yama. That because of the curse of Mandavya Rishi, Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, is very powerful and who controls living beings. So because he is always killing people, he also has to get the taste, right? He's killing everybody. So then he also took birth and get the experience. Otherwise he's just a big boss. So Mandavya bossed around on him. And Bhratu Kshetre Bhujishyayam Jatah Satyavati Sutat. Says you were born in the maid servant of the brother of Vyasa. Because Vyasa was son of Satyavati, and Satyavati had sons Vichitravirya and Vichitrangana, and their maid servant was Vidura's mother. So that's why it is called Bhratu Kshetre Bhujishyayam Jata Satyavati Sutam. And then he was born through Vyasdeva. So this way he is referring to the past of Vidura. That Vidura, as Yamaraj, is great because Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajanas, of those who know the essence of the scriptures, and he is also born from Vyasa, therefore also he is great. And this Matra says that it is not very surprising that you are asking these questions and you want to hear about the Lord. So I will stop here because then he will begin answering the questions. Yes.
You mentioned in the beginning that when somebody desires to hear Bhagavatam, Krishna enters the heart. So I have two questions on this. One is that I understand Paramatma is already in the heart, so what happens then? And the other question is that Krishna is entering into the heart, so what does that actually mean? Can the person remain the same?
Same means? Same or same?
S-A-M-E, same, the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Same, yes.
No, Krishna and Paramatma is Paramatma. So Paramatma is indifferent. He is like a witness. But when Krishna comes, then he takes personal interest. Means now this person's life is under the control of Krishna. Means Krishna becomes the Paramatma, in other words. Not the Paramatma, but now it is Krishna who is the Paramatma for this person. So naturally he is not same anymore. Now he is guided by the internal potency of Krishna.
How does Krishna enter? Because when you think, this is Krishna, and he enters the heart, so in one sense you could think that the person will just become intoxicated and maddened and conscious and...
Well, it depends how much potency he manifests. Obviously, if Krishna manifests all his power, the person will collapse. So it depends.
can become a saint.
Yes.
It's quite a mixed statement.
Why?
Because there are so many disqualifications, so that becoming a saint looks like very far.
That is the thing. There is so many disqualifications, but you can acquire this qualification. It is available.
Krishna always cried about the divorce of Krishna. Krishna always cried, I want this divorce, I want. So I always have a plan. You know.
Yes. You always have a plan.
You know and I know. Always has a plan.
Can it be said that God's omniscience is limited because the jiva has free will, and so he doesn't know beforehand what decisions people make?
What is the free will of the jiva? What is your free will?
You tell me.
You are telling that jiva has free will, and I am asking you, forget about jiva, tell me your free will.
The freedom to love God, so turn away from God. That's basically the idea of free will.
So that Krishna knows. Because that is in Krishna's hands.
So he is 100% omniscient,
Yes.
not 99.99. Very good. It's good to get a number. Very precise. It makes things easy.
Because this choice which we make, as we have been reading, is made by the grace of Krishna. Although we think that we are making the choice to surrender to Krishna, but this also happens by His grace.
That's his Leela.
For Him, everything is Leela.
But for us, it's a choice.
For us, it looks like a choice. So, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So, the seed of bhakti is given by the grace of Krishna and Guru. And in the Upanishad also it is written, Yamev esha vrinute tena labhya tasya svatam vivritam syat. That whomever he chooses to bless, he attains. Nayam atma pravachnena labhya na medhyana bahudha shrutena. That this God cannot be attained by lecturing, by intelligence, by hearing too much, but only by the grace. So in the ultimate sense, there is no such thing as free will. In the incidental sense, it appears like that. That's why we say that Krishna, he is the cause of all causes, sarva karana karana. So if he is cause of the all causes, then how can there be free will? That means he is not the cause. There is something missing from him. Isn't it?
So as Paramatma, Krishna is indifferent.
Yes.
At exactly what point he starts taking interest?
When we become devotee. Samoham sarvbhutesu na me dveshvasti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te tesu chapyaham. Says I'm equal to everybody. Nobody is friend to me, nobody is my enemy. But when you surrender to me, you worship me, you become my devotee, then I am in you, you are in me.
So this attraction is also his grace.
That is also his grace.
That's very beautiful.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
Okay.